daily lives, that will change history, 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 that will change history. That will be the most beautiful day.
Alright, hello, good evening everybody. Thank you for tuning in for our Ukraine War Report for July 15th of 2022. This is day 142. We're now technically on day 143 in Ukraine, so I should say good morning to Ukraine and everybody in Europe. Big shout out to everybody tuning in the chat. Again, thank you for taking some time out of your day to get filled in on what's going on here in this ongoing war in Ukraine. Big shout out to Utkin, OG Smiley 69, Speedy Squirrel, Miss Chris, Mike Barry, to all of you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by tonight. We're going to get you guys all caught up on what's been going on in the war on the ground in Ukraine. Of course, we'll start with our primary headlines, get everybody caught up on kind of the key topics of what's been going on over the past about 12 to 24 hours. And then we'll switch over to our community aggregated news from our intel analysts over on the Discord server, discord.gg/Nemico. And then, of course, we'll end off the night with our open source reports from resources like Live UA Map, which you see on the screen behind me here. We're going to jump over first, of course, to our primary headlines, our big key topics. But first, before we do that, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. It's the best way to get the algorithm's attention. Got to poke and prod that algorithm as much as possible. If you like this stream, share it. It's the best way to get this information out to more people. If you haven't already, subscribe. Best way to get notified when new videos, new streams go live here on the channel. Of course, if you do subscribe, make sure to hit that notification bell and hit the all option underneath the notification bell so that to make sure that you will get actually notified when those videos go live. Without further ado, we'll hop right into our primary headlines for this evening. Of course, the big story today, breaking news, at least 3 people were killed and 15 injured following a missile attack on Friday on Dnipro in central Ukraine, that big city. It's the country's 4th largest city with more than 1 million inhabitants. The rockets hit an industrial plant in a busy street next to it, said the regional governor Valentin Rezachenko, who said that on his Facebook page earlier today. We'll have some more information and possibly some images to show you from those strikes later this evening when we hop into our community aggregated news. The UK said the Kremlin was quote, fully responsible for the death of a British captive in eastern Ukraine as rescue workers in Vinnytsia scoured debris for missing people after devastating Russian rocket attacks occurred in that city. The British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss said, quote, I am shocked to hear reports of the death of British aid worker Paul Uri while in the custody of a Russian proxy in Ukraine. Russia must bear the full responsibility for this. Rescue workers were still clearing debris in the wake of those strikes in Vinnytsia, central Ukraine, that killed at least 23 people. A top Ukrainian official has accused Russia of deliberately escalating its deadly attacks on civilian targets in recent days. Oleksiy Danilov, and Secretary of Ukraine's National Security Council, told the Guardian that monitoring of Russian strikes suggested an increased emphasis in recent weeks on terrorizing Ukraine's civilian population. A quote directly that came from that report, he said, that's not my emotions, but what our monitoring is telling us. So they've seen a direct uptick. Right, so they're telling reporters that they're seeing a direct uptick in how many strikes are occurring on civilian and residential targets in Ukraine in just the recent past few days to past few weeks here. A wounded soldier who returned from Russian captivity has recounted how Russian forces would threaten Ukrainian soldiers with death penalty if they refused to cooperate. Denis Piksun, an Azov soldier, told Azov media that they said that if you don't testify, if you don't cooperate, there will be the death penalty. You all have the death penalty on trial as a Nazi terrorist organization, they said in that statement there. Ukrainian officials have confirmed that the U.S. House of Representatives approved another $100 million in funding to train Ukrainian pilots to operate American aircraft as part of the National Defense Authorization Act. The pilots will be trained on F-15 and F-16 fighter jets, according to Andriy Yermak, Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky's chief of staff. Ukraine's military losses peaked in May, the defense minister Oleksiy Reznikov said in a new interview aired on Friday. Speaking to the BBC, Reznikov said, quote, "The biggest peak of our losses was in May, with up to 100 soldiers being killed a day." Europe has, quote, "shot itself in the lungs with sanctions aimed over Russia at its war in Ukraine," said the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, who said that in a statement today, Friday. Orban, a nationalist who has ruled Hungary since 2010 and frequently clashes with Brussels, has been a fierce critic of European Union sanctions on Russian oil. In an address on national radio, Orban urged EU leaders to change the sanctions policy immediately. Ukrainian rocket strikes have destroyed more than 30 Russian military logistics centers in recent weeks and significantly reduced Russia's attacking potential. Ukraine's defense ministry spokesperson said on Friday in a statement, the official Alexander Mutsianek, again, I'm not sure if I'm totally 100% pronouncing that correctly there, says emphasized the role played by U.S. HIMARS, those high-mobility artillery rocket systems, which we have come to know and love so much, one of the several types of long-range weapon systems that have been supplied by the West to assist Ukraine in the war. Again, it's you can't overemphasize how useful these HIMARS systems have been to the Ukrainian forces on the ground in the country of Ukraine in recent days and weeks. M270 long-range multiple rocket launch systems have officially arrived in Ukraine. The Ukrainian defense minister announced on Friday, quoting, "They will be good company for the HIMARS on the battlefield." So again, those M270 long-range multiple rocket launch systems have arrived in Ukraine. So they have more MLRS at their disposal as of now. So again, the big stories here, just to reiterate, of course, you have the battles still occurring in the east of the country, in the Donbass, as Russia makes that slow advance westward. And, of course, we have fighting in the south of the country near Kherson, where the Ukrainians are looking to mount a counter-offensive, which arguably they've begun to launch in recent days. And then, of course, you have the primary headline tonight of that missile attack on the central Ukrainian city of Dnipro. That about sums up our primary headline topics. We're now going to switch over to our community aggregated news here on our Discord server in the Situation Room. Before we start, if you would like to follow along with these reports or read any of these reports for yourself, you can find them, of course, in the Situation Room channel over on the Discord server. That's discord.gg/Nemico. Before we get into that, again, a big shout out to everybody that's tuning in this evening. I see we have a few of our mods showing up in the YouTube live chat tonight. We got Fallen Rays tuning in. Thank you so much, Fallen, for tuning back into the stream this evening. And Too Tall, thank you so much for stopping by, guys, and helping out over there in the live chat this evening. Our first post, again, comes from Unstinkable, very long time, a very big power poster here, as we've called him in recent days. This comes from Jason J. Smart, official verified Twitter account here. Talks about Ukraine's Minister of Defense announced that Kiev is expecting to receive HIMARS with a range of 300 kilometers. The current HIMARS given to Ukraine by the U.S. can only hit targets up to 70 kilometers away, and yet have proven to be extraordinarily effective, as we've seen in recent weeks. They have definitely been a game changer, and of course, as you see here in this statement, these longer range HIMARS missiles will be even more of a game changer on the battlefield. Of course, this post is accompanied here by one of our recent most favorite memes here about the HIMARS. In fact, I'll switch over to the big screen here so we can see it. Do you have any unprotected oil depots in 300-kilometer range? Asks the HIMARS missile system. Thank you, Unstickable, for posting that in the Discord server. Our next post comes from Kayuka, another longtime power poster in the Discord server, coming from Telegram, from the Kiev Independent on Telegram. Says that Russian Ministry of Defense admits deliberately hitting Vinnytsia. Russia boasted of the unfounded claim of targeting a meeting between Ukraine's military and foreign arms suppliers. The July 14th strike hit civilian infrastructure in the city center, killing at least 23 people. Our next post here, again coming from Kayuka, from Jeff Selden on Twitter, another verified source here, talks about the ability of Ukrainian forces to destroy weapons such as ammunition supplies far beyond Russia front lines, having a significant impact on morale of Russian forces per a senior U.S. military official. We've seen those videos in recent weeks here of some of those strikes on those Russian ammo depots, including that POV, that first-person view video that we saw last week of that Russian ammunition depot that was, again, being struck and had subsequently cooked off, and a lot of those Russian soldiers were running for cover in that video. I could only imagine that would definitely decrease morale. Our next post here again comes from Kayuka, and again talks more about these HIMARS systems. Comes from Defensive Ukraine, verified Twitter source on Twitter. In the past weeks, more than 30 Russian military hubs have been destroyed with those HIMARS missiles. Ukrainian army is cutting off the Russian Hydra's heads on a daily basis. We will continue to do so until we have succeeded in cutting off the last head. And again, somebody comments here down below, now let's see what the M270 can do. Again, I expect we'll be seeing a lot of memes, and we'll be seeing a lot of information coming out about the M270. Now that that's in the combat theater, I guarantee you we're going to see a lot of information coming out in recent days about those other MLRS systems. Our next post here comes from Carbon on the Discord server. Thank you, Carbon, for posting this. This comes from Nexta, verified on Twitter here. Talks about at a conference at The Hague, 45 countries agreed to jointly coordinate the investigation of Russian war crimes in Ukraine and to bring those responsible to justice. I actually reported on this earlier this week. Next post here, again, coming from Unstinkable. Talks a little bit about that M270. Says, again, this comes from Oleksiy Reznikov, again, a Ukrainian government official on Twitter. Talk about the Longhand family of Ukrainian army has been enlarged. The first MLRS M270 has arrived. They will be good company for the HIMARS on the battlefield. Thank you to our partners. No mercy for the enemy, they stated there in this post. Again, expanding on that 300-kilometer range HIMARS that we were talking about a few minutes ago, this is another press release here from Reznikov, saying he's waiting for Western-supplied 300-kilometer range HIMARS. Oleksiy Reznikov, the Minister of Defense of Ukraine, is confident that Western partners will provide Ukraine with projectiles for HIMARS, high-mobility artillery rocket systems, which are capable of hitting targets at a distance of 300 kilometers. Again, those will definitely be a game changer on the battlefield in Ukraine. Our next post here coming from TigerEye912. Thank you, TigerEye, for posting this. This comes from Ukrainiform.net. Talks about the U.S. House of Representatives approving a draft defense budget, which will include $1 billion in aid to Ukraine, which we reported on earlier this week. It's mostly economic aid that they're sending over there. The chamber passed the bill with 329 votes, which provides for authorizing nearly $840 billion in defense spending for the fiscal 2023 year. As many as 101 lawmakers voted against the measure. A separate version of the annual defense policy bill still has to be considered in the Senate, and then both versions will be reconciled in conference committee before the bill makes its way through both chambers for final passage. Again, thank you to TigerEye912 for posting that. Kayuka, next post, bringing us our UK Ministry of Defense daily intelligence briefing, and we'll get that out to you guys here. It says here, in the Donbass, Russian and pro-Russian Luhansk People's Republic separatist forces claim to have entered the outskirts of Siversk. This has not been corroborated, however. Russian forces have been slowly advancing westwards, following shelling and probing assaults towards Siversk from Lysychansk to open a pathway onward to Sloviansk and Kramatorsk. Bakhmut is likely to be the next objective, as they mention here, once Siversk is secured. Since withdrawing from the strategically located Snake Island on the 30th of June, 2022, Russia has been attempting to deny its use by Ukraine. However, on the 13th of July, 2022, airstrikes by two Su-27 Russian fighter jets failed to hit the island. This follows the pattern of Russian air forces failing to successfully engage in the tactical battle. Over 2.5 million people have now been evacuated from Ukraine to Russia since the start of the invasion. Russia continues to face accusations that it forcibly is deporting Ukrainians. In many cases, Ukrainians have reportedly been mistreated in filtration camps set up by Russia. Of course, we also reported on that earlier this week. Our next post here, and again, probably our last post here, coming from Kayuka this evening. This comes from Flash, unverified Twitter source, so keep that in mind. Take this with a grain of salt. It says, today, the deputies of the Russian Federation are putting to vote a change to assign the term the main opponent of the Russian Federation to the United States of America. As somebody here in the comments asks, who's the current main enemy then? I would actually like to, I'd be interested to know who that is. But again, they're trying to, pass a vote to change the official, change the official consideration for who the main opponent of the Russian Federation is directly over to the United States of America. It's definitely a very interesting post there. I have actually one more here. Also coming from Kayuka here. If I can get this up on screen. 1 second here. Let's get back. This comes from OSINT Technical on Twitter, again, posted by Kayuka. It says a fairly rare Russian 9P157-2 Koreansian Tema-S fires a 9M123 anti-tank guided munition at Ukrainian position in the east. So you can see here, this is a rare tracked vehicle here used by the Russians. Again, this is an anti-tank missile system. Again, it's unknown if anything was hit, but the 9M123 is a, as this person here says, primarily an anti-tank weapon. So, interesting. I think this is one of the first videos I've seen of this weapon system being used in Ukraine. Again, thank you to everybody that posted in the Situation Room for tonight's community aggregated reporting. We're now going to switch over to our open source reporting from Live UA Map. We're going to scroll down to about the past 12 hours here and get everybody caught up on the individual events that have occurred, that have taken place here in Ukraine. We'll start here. We'll start right here at the 12-hour mark. It says a man was killed as a result of an explosion of unknown explosive device while swimming in the sea near Odessa. Again, it's unclear if that was some kind of anti-ship mine that possibly detonated there, killing that man in Odessa. You can see where that was located on the map here on screen. 12 hours ago, explosion and fire reported near Mospini. You can see where that is located here in Russian-held territory in the Donetsk region. We have a video here on screen that I can show you as well. You can see some smoke rising from that reported strike that, again, occurred near Mospini. 12 hours ago, Minister of Defense of Ukraine says Longhand family of the Ukrainian army has been enlarged. Of course, I reported on this a few minutes ago. The first MLRS M270 has arrived in Ukraine. They will be good company for the HIMARS on the battlefield. Thank you to our partners, they said in that statement. British Foreign Ministry has summoned the Russian ambassador because of the death of Paul Uri in Russian captivity. Liz Truss said Russia must bear the full responsibility for this. Paul Uri was captured while undertaking humanitarian work in Ukraine. 11 hours ago here, shelling was reported in Kramatorsk, as you can see there on the map. I believe we also have some Telegram source here showing some of the smoke rising from those blasts. Again, shelling in Kramatorsk. Also, 11 hours ago, we had shelling near targeting Sloviansk, as you can see here, located on the map. We can actually take a look at the pictures here showing more smoke and debris rising from that shelling that occurred there in Sloviansk. 11 hours ago here, Russian army launched 2 missiles at Odessa. One was shot down by Ukrainian air defense. Again, this occurred 11 hours ago. You can see where those strikes came in at here in Odessa. Looks near the ports, possibly, that those strikes came in. 10 hours ago, fires as a result of shelling in Edivika. We can see where that was located here on the map on Ukrainian-held territory, not too far from Donetsk. If we click on this here, we can see some destruction which occurred on what's pretty clearly a residential apartment building. See that building there on fire and smoke billowing from it. Again, this is pretty clearly a residential target here. 10 hours ago here, multiple explosions were reported in Dnipro. Some missiles were, however, intercepted. Again, that was our primary headline this evening, were these missile strikes that have occurred in Dnipro. Dnipro has had a busy past 24 hours, as you can see here on the map. They've had quite a few strikes occur in that city. 10 hours ago, explosions reported in Kremenchuk. As you can see here on screen, that's geolocated. Again, that is Ukrainian-held territory where those strikes came in. 9 hours ago here, reported that there could be issues with the water supply in Dnipro city as a result of that missile strike in that central Ukrainian city. You can see here on screen, this is actually a press release from, I believe, a Ukrainian official talking about possible water supply issues. 9 hours ago, several civilian vehicles were hit and caught fire as a result of a missile strike in Dnipro city. Again, we have a video here to show you of that strike here, or at least the aftermath of that strike. You can see some on screen here, some vehicles that are on fire, burning after those strikes occurred. Eight hours ago, 1 person killed and 4 wounded as a result of shelling in border districts of the Sumy region today. We can get a geolocation here on the map, and you can see here where those strikes have occurred along this northeastern border with Russia. So quite a few strikes there. Again, 1 person fortunately lost their lives and 4 more were wounded in those strikes. You can see here some impact craters, some pictures of impact craters here from some of those strikes that occurred today. Again, 8 hours ago, we had more shelling targeting Kramatorsk, as you can see there, and I believe we have some pictures to show you here of some of the impact craters that can be seen here in Kramatorsk. Our Kramatorsk cam, actually, that we had up for our 24/7 cam stream has gone down, so we will no longer have that on our 24/7 cam stream. That happened, I believe, a day after that massive strike occurred on that camera, or in front of that camera that we showed you guys the other night on the report. 8 hours ago, U.S. to sell Estonia the M142 high mobility artillery rocket system HIMARS and related equipment for $500 million, according to the U.S. State Department. Again, they're selling these M142 HIMARS to Estonia. Again, looking to bolster the defense of a lot of those Baltic countries there as they, again, look to increase readiness level against the Russian aggression, as they call it. 8 hours ago, we have heavy shelling targeting civilian buildings in Advika today, as you can see there, located on the map. This is on Ukrainian-held territory. We also have some, I believe, some images or some video here to show you. Yeah, so this is, again, that same picture of that apartment building, which I showed you guys earlier, that was on fire after it was struck. Eight hours ago, Ukrainian air defense shot down a Russian missile over Bila Tservka district. You can see where that was located here. Basically, it's smack dab central Ukraine here. Again, Ukrainian air defense shot down a Russian missile over that area earlier today. 8 hours ago, reports of 2 missiles launched from Belgorod, so that's on Russian territory, toward Kharkiv, but both of those missiles reportedly failed. You can actually see a press release here, I believe this is, talking a little bit about those missile strikes, or failed missile strikes, I should say. 8 hours ago here, it says 3 people, unfortunately, lost their lives. 15 were wounded as a result of those Russian missile strikes in Dnipro city today. Again, it's possible that death toll will rise over the next 24 hours, over the next few days, I should say. So we'll bring you some updates Monday, hopefully, on those strikes that occurred in Dnipro. Again, you can see where those strikes were located there. Again, I'd like to reiterate here that Dnipro has had a very hard day today. Many strikes occurred in that city. 7 hours ago, Ukrainian air defense shot down 4 Kh-101 missiles launched by Russian Tu-95TS bombers from the Caspian Sea towards Dnipro city. Again, this happened earlier today, about 7 hours ago. We also have another press release here showing, talking a little bit about those Russian Kh-101 missiles that were launched from those Tu-95TS bombers from the Caspian Sea towards Dnipro city earlier today. 7 hours ago, more explosions were reported in Dnipro city. And then, of course, here, capping off our night, we have explosions reported in Kharkiv. Kiev usually is every day is bombarded in some capacity here by the Russians. This could have been a Ukrainian strike, however, because as you see here on the map, this is located on Russian-held territory, so it's possible that this was a Ukrainian strike, which successfully targeted some kind of asset here within Russian-held territory near Kharkiv. That about sums up our open source reports for this evening. We'll now have a little bit of a Q&A in the live chat to end off our Friday night report. Again, we had a little bit of a late report this evening. We're coming at you guys around midnight here, Eastern Standard Time. So it's now we've now gone from July 15th to the 16th, and to everybody tuning in tonight, again, thank you guys so much for stopping by. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Best way to get the algorithm's attention and get this information out to more people. And when you're done with that, go ahead and sound off and chat. We're tuning in from this evening, what your fuel prices are looking like, and we'll go ahead and read off some of those comments and questions that you may have. While I'm waiting for some of those comments and questions to come in, I think it's a good idea. We have a lot, so there's a lot of channels over on the Discord server. And some of them are used more than others. One of them that has been kind of a constantly used by you guys is the meme channel. We've had a lot of really good memes that have been posted into the meme channel over on our Discord server, and so I thought it might be fun. It might be a lighthearted way to end off our week of reporting here by going through a few of these user-submitted memes from over on the Discord server. And so again, we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at a couple of those. The first one here comes from, I believe this is a user by the name of DatAss. Well, thank you, DatAss, for posting this meme in the Discord server. This one shows, looks to be a mother feeding its baby, saying, "No, honey, you can't have World War III. You haven't even finished all of your Ukraine yet." Again, as you can see there, the U.S. feeding what looks to be a baby Vladimir Putin. Another one coming from the same user there. This one is one of our HIMARS memes we've seen. It says, slaps roof of the HIMARS. This baby can fry so many orcs, it says. Again, these HIMARS systems, you can telltale sign of the HIMARS system here, as you can see, it comes with 6 missile bays there for those HIMARS munitions. Here's another HIMARS o'clock meme here, just to show you guys here. HIMARS o'clock. Oh, would you just look at the time? Right, time to get back to work. Later that same night, Andre, you've lost another ammunition depot. Again, I like the graphics here they've been using for the HIMARS, making it look very, very intimidating there. I had another one here. Here's another one here. Okay, this comes from the user Yoroko Izo, longtime contributor on the Discord server. Talks about a Russian tank pauses, head to the ground to listen for the Ukrainian tractor, its natural predator. Again, guys, I love seeing those memes posted over in the Discord server. Actually, I have two more here. These are good ones. I can't not show these. This one here, Russian ammo depot, and and this is the HIMARS breaking through the door, ready to take action. Here's Johnny. It says there. Another one here to cap off our memes tonight. I think we can all relate to this one as you know, we're in the middle of our gas prices roundup Q&A here in the live chat, and I know we've talked about fuel prices a lot on the channel, and at many times I've tried to reiterate, you know, how much, you know, the struggle here that we're dealing with when it comes to food prices and gas prices is nothing in comparison to what the people in Ukraine are dealing with on a daily basis, and this meme really puts it into perspective for you guys. Ukraine 2022. Those poor Americans struggling against high gas prices. Again, as you see here, a couple civilians walking next to destroyed buildings here. Again, this is definitely puts this into perspective for us. Actually, I have one more. This is also a good one. Sorry. The Russian troops checking the ammunition in the morning, and it's gone, unfortunately. Again, that's been kind of the big meme over the past few weeks here is just how many ammo depots, how many weapons caches, how many fuel depots they have managed to lose in recent weeks. Scrolling back up in the chat here just to get caught up where you guys are. Annette, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Says thank you, Nemico. Well, thank you, Annette, for stopping by. Armory Knight says Alabama and gas is $3.82 today. Thank you so much, Armory Knight, for tuning in and sounding off in the chat. Those fuel prices don't sound too bad. Speedy Squirrel says Nemico wanted to bring up the drones coming to Russia from Iran. Is this being taken seriously coming from a country who has been affected by these drones? It can be a game changer. So yes, it is definitely being taken seriously, especially by U.S. intelligence from what I've read over the past few days here. However, we've had Iran come out and say they're not supplying combat-capable drones to Russia. However, of course, you kind of take that with a grain of salt, again, when it's coming from Iran. Only time will tell if they are going to be sending these in to Ukraine. The question, are they going to be a game changer? I don't think so. If you look at the way that a lot of the other Russian, not just combat-capable drones, but reconnaissance drones have fared within the country, I don't think they're going to have too good of a time. Ukrainians have pinned down a pretty broad range of anti-drone capabilities. Everything from those anti-drone ray guns that we've seen going around to anti-air missile systems, or anti-air defense missile systems that can take down some of these drones. So I don't think it'll be too much of a game changer for them. However, it waits to be seen. 419, Mike Berry says, at Kroger's in Alcona, Tennessee. So it's about $4.19 a gallon, so not too crazy high, kind of going downwards, and that's good. We like to see those fuel prices decreasing. Miss Tiger Eye 912 with an excellent question here. Asks, what are your opinions on increasing West invasions / attacks and your thoughts on Russia possibly getting close to Finland? Opinions on increasing West invasions / attacks and your thoughts on Russia possibly getting close to Finland. My thoughts only, not anything verified, just wondering your thoughts. So my opinions on increasing West invasions. So I don't know exactly what you mean by that. I think so. When you talked about Russia possibly getting close to Finland, I think that's inevitable. Again, now that now that Finland and Sweden are looking to join NATO, um, now that NATO is mobilizing more troops to Europe, I definitely think Russia is going to respond. They're going to mobilize more troops again to their western borders, those borders that line up with those Baltic states. There, we're kind of seeing a repeat of what occurred in the Cold War. You know, kind of this tit for tat exchange of rhetoric followed by response. You know, in readiness level, and I think that we're going to continue to see that in the coming weeks and months here. We'll see kind of a heightening of readiness level. We'll see more mobilizations. And, of course, the whole time we're going to be seeing an increase in rhetoric and geopolitical chest puffing, so to speak. Madeline, 7, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Says, good morning from Spain. It's just after 6 hours here. Well, I hope, Madeline, you're having a wonderful morning there in Spain. Good morning to everybody, actually, that's in Europe or in the Eastern Hemisphere. Flora B actually says Iran is not stupid. They know not to bet on the losing horse. That could be. That could be possible there. Russian invasions of other Western countries besides Ukraine. Asks Flora B. Possibly. I mean, of course, it's never off the table. After what we've seen here in Ukraine occur, it's never off the table, especially with what's occurring in Lithuania, with that situation between Lithuania and Kaliningrad. That's definitely a very tense situation. So, again, that remains to be seen where that will go. Again, that about concludes tonight's Q&A chat from everybody in the live chats over on YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. Thank you guys for tuning in for this slightly late and slightly shorter than usual Friday night report. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. We'll be back here, of course, Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another week of reporting on the war in Ukraine. Access Denied actually has one last question here. It says, do you hear about the nuclear drill commercial in New York the other day? It really is the Cold War. Yeah, I actually showed that on a report earlier this week. We actually watched that video and talked a little bit about that. Yeah, it's definitely concerning seeing that sort of stuff coming out, especially from emergency management preparedness agencies from cities like New York. So, yeah, again, that is a little nerve-wracking here, as Katie Horton says. Definitely concerning to see that sort of stuff. I expect we might see more of that in the coming weeks and months. If you guys are looking for any of our sources, any links to anything at all, you can find it in the description below this stream or below this video, depending on how you watch it, as we do upload these reports to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Nemico Network every night after they are done live. If you can't find something in the description below, you can probably find it over on our Discord server at discord.gg/Nemico. There's a link to that in the description below where you can join. If you guys haven't already, please hit that like button. Best way to, again, get the algorithm's attention, get this information out into the hands of more people. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Best way to get notified when new videos and streams go live. When you do subscribe, make sure to hit that notification bell and hit the all selection, which will allow you to get notifications when our new videos and streams go live. New reports every weekday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, guys, we'll be back here on Monday, as we don't do reports over the weekend. Got a whole bunch of video content and other stuff coming at you guys in the coming days and weeks here, so pretty pumped for that, so stay tuned. Until next time, everybody, you have been watching Nemico Network, and stay tuned. Right after this, we will be getting our live cam stream back up on screen for you guys, so don't go anywhere. Stick around. Until next time, guys, again, you're watching Nemico Network.
daily lives.